Good evening, everyone. This day's topic is the state of video games. Whether you're flying high, shooting people in the face, jumping on or over monsters, or simply slashing their face off.
As well as the supple nature of various skins.
That is not a topic for today, but if
It
it
might.
comes up,
we will get there.
It might happen.
we might.
My cohort for today's talking is Simeon Fleece.
That's me.
And Jake, as always.
Yes, Jake is here. Said no one ever. All right, let's get it kicked off, guys. So, seeing as how you're kind of young, I'll ask you first. What was the first console that you jumped on?
The first console of video game anything I ever played. I kind of went backwards. The first console I ever played was a 360.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What do you mean you went backwards?
I then later played an N64.
Ah,
So, you
instant
know.
clarity.
Yep. I played a 360 first. I've played PS2, Xbox One, PS3.
Okay, I guess the better question is not the first, but what's the oldest? Is it the N64?
Yeah, and then I also played a Game Boy Color. I don't know where on the timeline that is, but
I want to say that was before, but that was like a handheld, so who knows? What
first
about-
console I think is an N64, or I think that's what it's called. It's the thing where you put the big ass chip that you got to blow on.
Oh yeah. N64 was still the days of blowing your cartridges,
Gotta
Yep.
love a game system that demands a blowjob.
right?
Yep.
Simeon,
Yes.
what was your, I guess,
Are we
oldest?
talking oldest or first?
We'll go oldest.
I've played Atari.
Oh.
I have an Atari inside of my house.
Oh. All right then.
Although
Did you play it out of some, like, oh, let me, go back, like you were, like, in your 20s or something, played it? Or were you, like, I don't know, maybe 10 or something when you played it?
I think I was still young when I played it.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like way before my time, but
Well, yeah, I was going to say, even if you played it at, like, 5, it's still, like, an outdated console.
I'd lose hours to Pong.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, OG.
That OG Pong, maybe some,
But the
Pitfall.
system that I started on was Super Nintendo, and then Super Nintendo went to Sega Genesis, which still to this day two of my favorite systems ever. And then there was a brief like Dreamcast period.
never touched a Dreamcast.
It was all right. It wasn't great. It didn't compete with like the Genesis or the Super Nintendo.
I know they say that Dreamcast and it was like ahead of its time.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Or not ahead of its time. It came out too soon.
Maybe. I mean,
Because
they had
the things you could do on it compared to everything else, it was almost like no one really knew.
Yeah, there was some stuff that they were like getting really innovative on.
They were playing with things they didn't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I played that for a while.
What about Sega Game Gear?
I've never played a Game Gear.
Man, that bulky ass thing that took 8 batteries.
I've heard of it. Never have essentially it though.
It's essentially a Sega Genesis. Like, take the actual Sega Genesis,
Still don't
cut
know.
it in half, put a screen on it.
So like the first DS.
No, it was bigger than the DS. It was heavier. It was heavy. Imagine a bulky Switch. A bulky Switch.
Interesting.
Like, you had to be a strong kid to hold a Sega Game Gear.
You would probably never lay in your bed and just hold it above you, because
No,
if you
my
drop it, you'll die.
Oh, my God. Well, like, figure, like, 8 AA batteries.
That's a lot of
Even
batteries.
if you held a pack of 8 batteries above your head and dropped it, that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Now, put that in something that is just as heavy as that, and then just drop it on your face. You'll probably not have a face anymore.
Yeah, that checks out.
I feel like at one point or another I've played most game systems.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of I played. There's a few that I haven't.
I haven't played any of the recent PlayStations. I haven't played the Sega one, the handheld.
About Sega CD. That didn't last very long, but
No, I've played GameCube and I fucking hate it.
Controllers
it's just a
were shit.
Terrible system with their weird proprietary discs.
oh, the little mini discs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've played. I mean, N64 was the shit. I played original NES.
Oh man.
And you know what, though? Still to this day, if you like put a brand new Xbox in front of me, or an NES, or a Super Nintendo, I mean, I'm taking the Super Nintendo.
I was about to say, like, NES, I'd take the new Xbox, but a Super NES, I'll take that all day.
I'm going Super Nintendo.
Games were 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
And now that we've, kind of shed some light on some older consoles, I think we should get into the actual video games. I think the old games were better.
They were, yeah.
I feel like people
were-
nowadays are trying too hard to make this next level fucking cinematic masterpiece of a fucking video game when all you do is shoot people in the game.
Old games are somehow simpler yet far more difficult than modern games are.
Oh my god. Yeah.
There was no like winning games back in the day. You just played until you died.
Yeah. I mean, even the games that like you could beat, there were so many of them that were on a level of difficulty that still hasn't been matched.
Yeah.
There's a legit game, I can't remember. I think it's Breath of Fire 3 for the PS1 that there's a part where you get into a desert. It's like disc 3. That is like there are a few people that have gotten past disc 3 on that game. And it's insane. But then there are games now like I know you, Simeon, and I think, Jake, you've played this. The Elden Ring? Did you play Elden Ring?
Haven't played Elden Ring yet.
Okay.
I
Simeon really loved
I
Elden
really
Ring.
enjoyed Elden Ring.
I was okay with it.
Yeah.
I did not like it. I feel like it wasn't even like the difficult battles. It was just this loosey-goosey storyline / quests.
I mean, that's
But I've only got 2 words in response to that, and that is
Get good.
get good.
It's not, no, because, like, I mean...
well, the loosey-goosey quest thing, that just comes from the fact that FromSoft made Elden Ring. FromSoft's games have never really had a story. They're just kind of a challenge run where there's hidden story.
No, there's for sure story.
There is. There's for sure a story. The
In
problem
all of
is
them.
you don't actually have to do it.
No,
You could just
you
grind
do.
and grind and grind and then kill the big dudes and that's it.
Well, it's kind of like your gameplay experience is dependent upon your level of involvement. You know, how much you uncover is dependent upon how invested you are in the story. And
I don't want to have to... Like, I know this is your bread and butter. The nooks and crannies in video games, that is your bread and butter.
yeah,
I don't have time for it. I don't have time to look in nooks and crannies for quests.
I love it.
I like treasures? Yeah, I'm cool for it.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
here for
that
it.
you're like looking for anything that's hidden.
But like I'm not looking for like if a quest is in the nook and cranny. Nah,
I'm not like specifically going out searching for quests, but I'm searching for anything that I might find. And that
Yeah.
happens to be a quest, then I found a quest.
I don't know. It's weird. I just every time I see a game that's got like swords and stuff, I expect this, storybook that never happens.
How so?
Well, Dragon Age. All the Dragon Age series have this very intense storyboard where you can just like kind of go around and fight shit, but there is also this very compelling story in each individual game that you go through. But you can take breaks, do side quests, you can go farm a bit for materials and stuff like that. But there's still this overarching storyboard that's there. In Elden Ring, the storyboard is lacking, I guess I could say. It's there, but it's not really there.
I think you're complaining about a lack of direction.
No. Because technically, in Elden Ring, you have to do very little to progress to the next part, to the next part, to the next part. It's very little.
I mean, yeah, but you're going to miss out on a huge portion of the game.
Yeah, without exploration, you miss out on a
The whole
lot
point of
things.
Elden Ring was exploration. They created a massive open world that they saturated with all manner of creatures and story hooks and content so that you could spend as much time exploring as you wanted to and still have content to find.
Yeah, I think the idea was a world you could get lost in.
Yeah.
You just keep finding thing after thing and exploring. Kind of like anyone who's ever played Skyrim, your first time just walking off into the wilderness, you'll find place after place
Fuck,
after
I love
place.
Skyrim.
Well, even Skyrim. That's another game where that you can just grind and grind and grind, but there still is a story.
Yeah, there's a story because there's a quest log, and you
Yeah,
can
and
look at your quest log,
You don't
and you can.
have to.
You also don't have to explore in Skyrim. You
I
can.
might get back into Skyrim.
You can just straight run through, do the 7 quests that is the main quest line, and that's it. You probably end the game around like level 20 or 30.
I should live stream a Skyrim run.
You could do that,
Yeah, maybe you should.
but
Maybe you should. I don't like your tone.
No, that was it's sincere. It was sincere, Simeon.
no, but like if you just like walk off into the wilderness and look at your little like compass bar, you'll see these places you haven't discovered, and you just walk and you'll find a place, and each place has a story. And I'd say that's probably one of the best things that Bethesda isn't the greatest at making a good story. They make a decent one, but it's the exploration that really gets you, and that's why I come back to Skyrim is walking around, finding a place that I haven't seen before, and just there's a story there.
Yeah, and I mean I'm cool with that. It's just I don't know. Elden Ring rubbed me the wrong way. Like it had such cool like graphics and like fights and stuff like that, but then it's like I kept getting this. Oh, let me go search. Oh no, there's a dragon. I'm not strong enough to fight this dragon. I guess I'm not searching this area.
But
All right,
you could
move
fight.
on.
You could fight that dragon.
You could
I could fight that dragon.
You could fight anything at any level
and win.
and win
yeah,
if you're good enough.
Yeah, I don't have the time like these 14-year-old kids to sink countless hours into a video game anymore. I mean, I wish I did. It would be a fun thing to do. Maybe do like that fucking live stream games, but like I just don't have. I don't have 8 hours, 12 hours a day to sink into a video game.
It's a real shame.
It is a shame.
It is.
I've been hearing a lot of people nowadays bring up that topic of, oh, you're in your 30s and you're still playing video games. Fuck yeah! What else am I gonna do?
Yeah. I never understood that. It's like games aren't just for kids. Have fun in life.
Well, yeah, it's not even so much like for kid. It's not for kids in the sense of like, oh, kids play video games. It's for everyone. Like, you're an adult.
How ridiculous is it that society expects adults to like live a soul-crushing life?
Right? You hit this
It's-
age and you're like, stop having fun.
Yeah.
Your only fun.
Yeah. Why are you having
can be
fun? You're
chores.
beyond the age of happiness.
Like,
Which is such a ridiculous concept.
Did you ever hear that thing? It's like, oh, when you hit your 30s as a man, you either got to get really into smoking meats or I don't remember the other thing.
You could also get into smoking meats.
But like at the end of the day,
That
it's
sounds fun.
smoking meats. Yeah, I mean, I do want to get a smoker here soon. But like,
I've heard Jake smokes meat.
Sure
he
don't.
smokes that pole.
That's Jason's job, but he's not here today, so you know.
Okay, all right.
Weird.
Meats. I don't see how when you're in your 30s being a man, why does everyone think chores is your level of fun?
I mean, it depends on the chore.
Well, I mean, like women are, they're allowed to go out with their friends and they're allowed to go on dinner dates. A man is expected to find fun through mowing the grass or, I don't know, fixing a leaky faucet. Ooh, man. You know what? I had so much fun yesterday. My toilet was leaking. Spent the whole day just staring at a fucking toilet. How was that fun?
It's not, but you know, it's weird societal expectations that
Yeah.
fun disappears with age.
But I digress.
It's because the government has slowly been programming the male human being to forget about warfare and focus on doing menial tasks. If I'm so low, turn me up, motherfucker!
You're almost at full. What do you want from me?
Maybe. Okay. Genres.
Of video games?
There's a few
There sure are.
that I fucking hate.
All right, let's.
I'm
What
gonna
do you?
be honest, I'm kind of over video games in general. Everything's just super gay now, and no one's coming out with anything worth playing. The old games have already been played. Video
billion
games are
times.
dead.
There's very few games nowadays that are coming out that are like, I really want to play that. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like you find a game that has a lot of replayability, and you just
Play that into fucking oblivion.
because it's your only option.
So, Shane,
Yes.
Simeon.
Simeon, Shane, Shims. What is your favorite genre? I'd say of all time.
I
And
like,
it can be side scroller from the olden days.
I like open world games.
Open world games. Any kind of basis on open world? Any kind of subsect of open world, or just the?
I mean, honestly, I can get into most open world games as long as there's like a combat element involved. Whether it's like a open world horror game or fantasy. I don't really get into like GTA at all.
Yeah,
Modern open worlds don't really do it for me.
It's hard.
Cyberpunk was cool. Like Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, Skyrim. Those games are like my jam.
Have you dabbled in what is that? Wildlands? I think it's Ghost Recon or something.
No, I never really got into that.
I have. It's not great. It's just it's one of those Ubisoft games that is just a big open world with not a lot of content.
That's the problem with
So,
open world games. You gotta
How
They
long
need to
has
be-
it been since you played that game?
Since I played that game, probably like 3 years.
All right, so you're in the same boat I am. Okay, so I downloaded it the other day.
Yeah.
It is not the same game.
No, is
Not
it?
at all.
Is it saturated with world stuff now?
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. So like, do you remember? I can guarantee you remember this. You go into towns. There's like no one in town. No like
There's-
people.
There's no people. There's just like the shop where you buy or sell or whatever.
And then there's like dudes you can kill that are hiding around buildings that aren't populated with people.
Yep.
The towns are filled with people and
Oh.
cars and like the hustle and bustle of like, everyday life. It's insane. Like I literally jumped into my save in the middle of a town and I'm like, why are all these people here? Are these all bad people? I'm like, oh wait, no, they're just they have NPCs in this game now.
That's
And then
wild.
I walked around and I was like, all right, so like where's the bad guys at? Where's the bad guys at? And then like I walked down like a few back alleys and found some bad guys and I'm like, that's exactly where I'd expect these bad guys to be. I think I need to restart this game because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now.
That's that's
I might honestly give that game another shot just on the fact that they added a bunch of shit that I had problems with before that they didn't add.
What's your favorite genre of all time, Cyrus?
So I'd have to go with a tie on it's a love-hate relationship of MMORPGs and fantasy-driven games.
Okay.
Well, RPGs.
I'm an RPG man myself. I like a good RPG. But then again, I'm also a fan of story games. I like games that have a story, and sometimes you can't just make your own character, and you're following the story of someone else.
Yeah, you play a character that's already made.
Like, I really liked, I beat and almost 100%ed GTA 5 story mode, and I thought it was a really good story. Now, I played GTA 4, I've played San Andreas, but I never beat those. Probably because I was a child when I played them, so I didn't really care about story. I just kind of used cheats and fucked around.
Yeah.
But mostly, I'd say I like a good story, whether or not it's following someone else or I'm riding my own character I made, like an RPG. What's the hate part of MMO?
So MMORPGs. So you take me back 7 years ago, and from when I started playing computer games, I played just about every single MMORPG, and I would pick those fucking things apart in a month. There were some games that I got super depressed when the servers went down. And there are other games that got ruined. That's a shout out to you, World of Warcraft. That enveloped my life. World of Warcraft was my life. Broke up with girlfriends, quit jobs, because they were getting in the way of my, real friends on the
internet.
on the internet that I've never met before in real life and don't know their real names. But they were in my clan. So, fuck them.
So I have minimal MMO experience. I haven't played too many, and I wasn't
You're lucky.
in the, say, golden age, if you will. But I played WoW probably like a year ago now. And I also played WoW Classic with you before, briefly. And I just didn't see the hype around WoW Classic. I played, I probably dropped, now it doesn't seem like a lot, but I dropped like 100 hours into regular WoW, which at the time was, I think, Shadow, whatever the fuck was the most recent one. Now it's Dragonlance, I think.
I don't know.
Anyway, I dropped like 100 hours. I got lost in the world. There was quests, and I just kept doing quests and exploring and fucking around and harvesting resources, and
so that's the
and
fun
I was
part.
having fun playing by myself. I wasn't playing with anyone.
Yeah, so like that's a fun part of the game, but like so I do get why you mean like you jumped into WoW Classic and you didn't really, care for it. But if you would have played it when it first came out. Now, WoW Classic is essentially the same as regular WoW when it first came out, but it was the first. There was nothing else. Like,
So
it
there
had
was-
toppled EverQuest.
Mm.
It had toppled a few games.
There was just nothing to compare it to.
And it was amazing. And then the very next year, they came out with Burning Crusade, and they gave you more shit to do and more places. And then right after that, it was
Was it Wrath of the Lich King?
Wrath of the Lich King. That was the final good expansion. That's when the game dropped off.
What was after that? Was it the Panda expansion, I think?
I believe it was the Panda expansion. So, they just really sunk real hard into the Pandarans that technically don't exist.
They do now, but you know.
Yeah, I mean they do now. They kind of shoehorned them in, but it wasn't. It was a gag character from a mercenary building in Warcraft 3, and I think there was like a book, maybe 2 books about like the legend of Pandaria, but that was it. It was a lost land, and then they're just like, hey, we're gonna give you access to playing these things, and we're gonna give you Monk. That became number 2 strongest class overnight.
Oh, cool.
I mean, nothing beats Druid in that game. Unfortunately, nothing beats Druid.
I think I played when I played a Ranger, and then I tried playing again, and I played a Druid the second time.
Druid is the strongest class in the WoW. It will always and forever be the strongest because it can tank better than a tank. It can DPS better than a DPS. It can heal better than a healer, and it can mage DPS better than any mage DPS.
Well, you know,
It's literally better than every class it tries to be.
what do you do with Nature God? Basically, you can't really.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you can transform into a bear. You're now infinitely more tanky than a warrior. You turn into the cat. You're more stealthy and do more DPS than a rogue.
You know, you fucking cast a bunch of spells and stuff, and you're better than a mage man.
Yeah, you can heal better than a. Well, if you spec hard, if you're a priest and you spec hard into heals, you're better. But no one does that because nobody wants to be heal boy.
There are some unique people that want to be.
I had a character named Heal Boy, and he was a dwarf.
Yeah, was he a dwarf priest who you
He
did
was a dwarf
exclusively
priest
healing?
that all he did was heal.
That's
I had a little bit of shadow magic, but it was mostly just healing.
that's
but anyway,
always interesting.
I don't want to get this sunk into just WoW.
That's fair.
My favorite game of all time that was MMORPG was called Auto Assault. It lasted for about 1.5 years. Then it lost a lot. It went offline, and then some people restarted it up, and then that finally took a shit too. But it was legitimately, while you're in town, you have a dude. You have a character that you can make. When you're outside of towns, you're in your car, and your car is like a class. So like your class was dependent on, or your cars were dependent on the class. So like if you were a rogue, you had like dune buggies and like small sports cars and stuff like that. If you
that's
were
pretty cool.
a warrior, you would have like SUVs and tanks and trucks and there was a summoner class, and like the base car was a hearse.
Oh, that's pretty fucking cool.
But yeah, it was like that, and when this game came out, they were really going for. I mean, this whole thing died off very quickly, but they were trying to get you to have a graphics card and a physics card.
Oh, back when we needed physics cards to
Yes.
do real life physics.
This was the first game /MMO game that came out that you needed a physics card for. You could still play it without one, but the game was like 1,000 times better because if you shot a pile of boulders, it would fall how it should fall.
And now we can just do that with game engines and normal graphics cards because we are better.
Yeah, because I mean, they essentially thought, who the fuck's gonna buy a
Us.
$2,000 graphics card and then turn around and buy a $2,000 physics card for no reason?
And then they fused them
Yeah.
because they were smart. But yeah,
I also like RTSs. Well, old school RTSs,
I'm
not this new.
How do you feel about tower defense or like defense games where it's like wave defense?
They have a special place in my heart.
Yeah, mine, COD Zombies is always a great classic of wave games. Also, COD Zombies has a surprisingly deep and expansive story to it.
Yeah, it does awkwardly.
And some dope music. My favorite, though, of all wave defense games has to be a game, I don't know if you've ever played it, Dungeon Defenders, where basically it's got your classic fantasy story, and you got your four, you got your mage, you got your squire, specifically they're all called because they're children, basically. You have your apprentice.
Just the children.
You have an apprentice, a squire, a hunter, and a monk, and they all do, like, their class thingies, but as, like, defense structures. And you have to protect this fancy crystal from the hordes of evil.
Yeah, I mean, I like them. I really do. They're fun. There's not a whole lot of pressure in those games.
Yeah, no.
They're fun fuck around games. RTSs, they have kind of died off
they're
of
not
what they
really,
originally were.
Very different now, I think.
Oh, yes. Like your original RTS was like Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, StarCraft.
Yeah, StarCraft.
Red Alert was a big one. Basically like base building with with little dudes that you could build and stuff like
Basically like a kind of like a war game, like a tabletop war game,
that.
but
Yeah.
on a computer, which makes it faster and
So
less
much fun.
expensive.
They also had really good storylines in them, but now, like, Dawn of War, Warhammer 40K, Dawn of War 1 and Dawn of War 2, really fun. Dawn of War 3, they kind of did away with the whole
Is it not a
base building
Okay.
aspect of it. Like, you can raise a building from a point to build more dudes, but it's not like you're not sitting in one spot collecting minerals and gas and stuff like that.
Base building games
Vespine gas.
have a special place in my heart. I don't know. I'm a fan of base builders.
I am too, yeah.
It's always fun to see your, you collect the resource. Now, I think my base building experience in games is probably different from yours. Age difference.
Probably.
But I like, going out, collecting resources, and then slowly seeing my structures grow and my resources expand.
Oh
and
yeah. I mean, even in the older ones, I would purposely slow down the game by building up my base super strong and then slowly go to the next area where there are minerals,
Yeah.
take over that area, then basically just landlock the enemy.
It's always fun. I don't know if you'd call it a base builder, but Civilization, I'm a fan of. It's turn-based, so turn-based game, but you build up your empire, so I'd say similar.
Oh, that's like what is that called? That's like,
It's like
you like build buildings and stuff, and then like you get
you build like
population
structures.
games.
Population games. I like
Yeah.
them too. They have a separate. What?
This is so droll.
Sim.
You guys are talking about nonsense.
You're talking. What are you? You're not talking.
Talking about video games that are base building and MMO fucking bullshit.
I'm sorry. Should we be talking about video games where all you do is shoot people?
No.
Then what should we be talking about?
No. Video games suck.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about why they suck right
We've
now.
established that they suck.
Hopefully that someone will listen to our complaints and rants and
Yeah,
maybe they'll fix things.
I wanna
Maybe
talk
we are
about-
the change.
I'm going to talk about
Simpsons.
supple fleshes.
Supple fleshes.
Why?
Yes.
What does that have to? What do you want to talk about supple fleshes?
Well, what's your preference in leather?
I don't.
What do you think
I don't know.
provides a more Are you a thick and rigid leather man, or do you like a supple, flexible, and soft leather?
A flexible, like a leather jacket.
That's a
Kinda
good
leather?
point you bring up. It depends on what the leather's being used for. So yeah, let's go for a leather jacket. What would your preference be in leather? What kind of skin?
What kind of skin? I don't
Are
know.
we talking like steer hide, sheepskin? You could go javelina
I
or
don't
ray
know.
skin,
Don't know.
alligator, rattlesnake, or python. If it's got skin, it can be leathered.
That's fair. Maybe manta ray. They have cool skin.
Manta ray? You sick monster. What those sweet ocean giants ever do to you, you fuck?
They killed Steve Irwin first off.
No, stingrays killed Steve Irwin.
Oh,
Manta
that's
rays
right.
are different.
You're right. You're right.
Don't
I'm mixing.
think I care that much about the type of leather.
That means that you're purchasing cheap leathers.
I don't really have leathers.
you
I'm a
look
cotton man.
you look like a pleather man.
You know what pleather is? Cheaper.
and also
And fake.
And cheaper.
And plastic.
It's still cheaper. I'm a poor man. In this fucked up society, I can only truly afford pleather.
Yeah, but that means that pleather will fail, and then you're going to need to purchase more pleather.
Yeah. For a cheaper price.
So you're a buy over and over and over kind of man instead of pay big once. Because I'm a pay big once man.
I can't afford the pay big once. I would love to be a pay big once kind of guy, but I can't afford that.
It disappoints me to know that you'd settle for inferior.
Plus, I also
leather
already
products.
I just don't buy stuff. So, like, to say that I'm on either side of the fence would be incorrect.
I'm not asking what you can afford. I'm asking your preference.
Oh, I mean, preference is probably real
If you could have
leather.
like a jacket
If I had all
made
my
of your
scruples.
choice of hides,
I don't know anything about hides.
but you know animals that have skin.
Yeah, but I don't know, like,
So
the varying...
Pick an animal that you would
Touchy.
like to have skinned jacket of.
Cow? I like cow, I guess.
A cow?
I know, the basic of leather. Leather.
At least it's real leather.
what about an orca leather jacket?
Orcas are pieces of shit and deserve to be worn as leather.
They deserve to
See?
be
I
leathered.
don't know if orcas can be leathered.
They have skin. They're like dolphins.
Is there orca leather?
Not yet.
Dolphin leather?
We're about to find
New business.
out.
Let's go.
We need to get
Orca
a giant
leather.
boat. We need to start spear fishing fucking orcas.
Dude, that's why they started attacking, because we were going to start the business. They
I
knew.
don't know if.
Well,
I don't,
I mean-
I don't know if orcas apply. Wait.
You
I
can-
believe you did
listen.
Just say if it has skin, it can be leather.
I did, and
And
there is.
There's stingray leather.
There is orca leather.
Oh.
Is it 100% orca?
I would support that company if it was, but it looks pretty nice.
It's
I gotta get some of this orca
It's
leather.
not cut with dolphin leather.
You know what? I want mammoth leather.
Well, I mean, they're bringing mammoths back because you know.
They also...
That's-
You
how
can
that
get
works.
elephant leather.
yeah, but I want like
not the same.
It's not the same. I want mammoth leather.
Mammoth or bust.
Yeah. I mean, shit, they're making mammoth meatballs now.
Ugh.
They've figured out how to grow meat in a bag.
I love that we like discovered this ancient, well-preserved carcass of an extinct creature.
Checked
and the
out
first
its
thing
cells and
people
were-
go to is
Yeah.
let's make meatballs out of it.
Yeah, they were like, let's figure out how its cells grow, and then let's make meat out of it.
Yes.
Which, I mean, I'm all on board with. I like food. I want to know what
Fish
T-Rex
leather?
tastes like.
Do you?
I do.
I feel like it'd be stringy.
Yeah,
I
like
don't-
most predators.
I don't
Yeah.
think it would be that good.
Yeah, no. Like, 'cause
You
I
know
mean,
what?
like, who's eating cheetah meat?
No one, because cheetahs are inbred and terrible at surviving.
No one, because cheetahs are fast as fuck and we can't catch them.
That's also true.
They're also very spindly.
I'd say probably Brontosaurus is good.
Yeah, it eats all that tree. It eats all them leaves.
All that tree, dude.
all
Imagine
that tree leaf.
Imagine if we still had Brontosaurus. We would feed so many people better.
Just like
Brontodon.
one brontosaurus will feed a city.
It probably would feed a city.
People
Boys.
just like have a farm of like 4 Brontos.
You kill one every month.
Yeah.
We are pushing an hour, past an hour.
You're pushing.
We're sitting on 40 minutes. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're pushing
well,
up.
it's not my fault that you fucked the initial launch of this episode up. We established 3:30.
You established nothing, Simeon.
You're cutting
Simeon
into
Sim
my
Sam?
playtime.
What is that playtime you talk about?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Do you
We're-
jump from
this is
tree to
a
tree
Different
On Nimbly
episode
Bimbly?
topic. On Nimbly Bimbly?
from tree to tree?
Sometimes.
Simeon
So I prefer Mr.
Understarch?
Fleece. Mr. Fleece will do fine.
Mr. Fleece, Sims. So, if you hate video games quite like us, who will still play them and then constantly complain, give this episode a check out. And send us emails and things. Carbonbaesed@gmail.com. I think that's our email.
Sounds right.
We accept nudes.
Yes, we do accept nudes, pictures of nudes,
Pictures
noodles,
of different leathers.
different leathers,
Pictures of naked people.
Yeah.
Weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
We also accept comments and likes.
Our good buddy Jake here is single, so if there's
Nope, this
a
is
big
not how
booty
you.
Betty that wants to bed him, or maybe even an adult man,
Weird.
send us an email.
We will pay you.
We will pay you to bed him,
And
man or woman,
and I will refuse all
or
of it.
Perhaps-
tran, or
Perhaps even an
or-
animal.
None of
a
the above.
sentient monkey who knows how to use the internet.
And their mouth really well.
Yes.
All right, I think that's enough of whatever this is. Thanks for watching.
Now for something completely different. His
Fuck
name is Jake.
Christ.
Our guest today was Simeon Fleece, and I'm Cyrus Parker. Toning out.
Stay hard.
Softer than ever.